Part 2. Why DCFS and the court should not use the local police call for service log to detain children from their parents. The father took Officer Foreman's advice to cut off Richard and Tamara for their toxic behavior. From October 9 to November 22 there was no contact. On November 23, the mother received a death threat due to Tamara talking bad about her and how she's raising the children. The father went to tell Tamara to stop talking about the family and to stop causing problems. She reacted by calling the police on the father. On November 24, Tamara decided to attack the family by calling CPS. In the entire 6 months that Tamara had stayed in California, she visited the family's home only one time. Tamara called CPS not to protect the children but in retaliation for being corrected on her behavior and for setting boundaries. When Tamara's report was evaluated out, she had Richard call and his report went through for the family to be investigated by DCFS. On November 30, which is Richard's birthday, the family was visited by emergency caseworker, Janice Harris. The family told Harris they knew that Tamara had called out of retaliation. When they denied Harris from entering their home, she made threats to involve the police, saying that she'll return with a warrant to remove the children and that it'll be difficult for the parents to get them back. Harris left after being denied again but not before saying that she'll be back. The father called Richard and asked if he knew that Tamara called CPS. Instead of telling the father the truth, Richard decided to lie, saying that he'll find out if Tamara called. Tamara also doesn't tell the father the truth. Instead she responds with such aggression and hostility that her intentions were never good. On December 2, the family was visited by 2 police officers who said that DCFS had sent them to check on the children. The father allowed them in and one officer was complimenting on how nice the house looked for Christmas. They saw no broken doors or windows. One officer spoke to Damien, who was in his room with a friend, eating pizza and playing games on his big screen. The police had a good report to deliver back to DCFS, stating no signs or evidence of suspected child abuse or neglect. Janice Harris left the police investigation out of her report, keeping the judge from reviewing this important exculpatory evidence that would have given the children a chance to go home. On December 4, CSW Janice Harris came back to inspect the family's home. At the same time, Richard and Tamara are at a nearby park trying to get the cops to storm the family's house knowing that DCFS is there. Officer Foreman, the one who told the father that Richard and Tamara are toxic and that they need to be cut off, he responded to Richard and Tamara's call at the park.
West Covina police call for service log. Reporting party waiting at Cameron Park, Lark Ellen, in a white cargo van. Reporting party wants assistance on checking on suicidal son. Reporting party recorded text messages from son saying he wants to kill himself. The reporting party's son is a drug addict and is not taking meds. No known weapons. DCFS is expected to do a check at location today. Son told the report party that if PD shows up he indicated he will suicide by cop. Negative guns regarding to subject. Negative on suicidal subject. Reporting party advised.
But you told me. The cops, and they told me to get out of, just to leave it alone and go away from you guys. And I was like, I'm just asking for well-being. And like he said, well, we know Jason well, we are not going over there. And I said, well, this is, can you just do well-being because I'm not having any contact with him.
After Officer Foreman scolded them and told them to leave the father and the family alone, they stopped harassing the family and there were no more calls made to the police. The CSW, Janice Harris, included this incident in her report despite her physically being there at the family's home, completing her inspection and conducting her interviews with both the mother and father. Based on what was shared regarding the police call for service log, should DCFS and the Juvenile Dependency Court be allowed to use them as evidence to detain children from their parents? Big fat answer is no. They're not police reports. Share if you agree and bring this to the attention of the Board of Supervisors. In memory of our son.